Thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. On today's review, we talk about Super 7. So during a recent interview between Super 7 and the Foosh, Super 7 stated that they have a new property that everybody's going to lose their mind. So immediately my mind went to wondering what could it possibly be. And my mind landed somewhere in the 80s, and I said it has to be something of 80s goodness. And as I sat down and started to put a video together of what this possible property could be, Super 7 then released what the property actually is, and it's G.I. Joe. So before we talk about the G.I. Joe and their Silverhawk announcement, I want to talk about 5 properties that I was hoping it would be. So starting at number 5, and I knew that this was a stretch. I knew that this was super unlikely, but this was more than a want than me feeling it was something realistic. And that would be Jace and the Will Warriors. For those of us that remember that cartoon, and it doesn't appear to be a lot of people who do, it was a fantastic cartoon that came with these awesome vehicles. The figures weren't so cool, but once you integrated them with the vehicles, it just was a lot of fun playing with this. Moving on to number 4, which was also unlikely, and that was Masters of the Universe Classics Return. So rumors are spiraling that Mattel only has a few years left with the license. Keyword rumor. I have no inside knowledge if this is something that is actually true. So a return to grace would have been having Super 7 continue the Masters of the Universe Classics line. Jumping to number 3 would have been Sectors. I have shortened memories of this property. I do remember the action figures had these holograms on their chests. Again, me thinking about 80s goodness and what it could possibly be. Jumping in at number 2, and that was Centurions. I actually think this would be a fantastic property for Super 7, especially with their ultimate lines. I can really see this fitting right in. And I think with the extra goodies that Super 7 sometimes throws in, the Centurions would make a fantastic line for that company. And what I thought was certainly the what it had to be that they were going to acquire would be Mask. With Hasbro pimping out their other properties to different companies, I really felt like Mask was it. This is where Super 7 was going to go, as Hasbro was not doing a single thing with the Mask franchise. As far as we know, there are a few rumors that movies are coming, but we've heard this talk for the last 10 years. And we know that Super 7 is no stranger to playsets and vehicles, so I felt like this was a company that would give us the mass action figures along with the vehicles. Because let's face it, the action figures without the vehicles, I don't see that line working. Now, let's talk about what it actually is, and that's G.I. Joe. And I didn't think it was G.I. Joe. The reason I didn't think it was G.I. Joe is because Mezco is already working on G.I. Joe figures. So I didn't feel that that would be something to where people would lose their mind if Super 7 acquired this license, as they already have Transformers, Power Rangers. So G.I. Joe would be no big surprise. So how am I feeling about this? A bit disappointed. 2 reasons I'm disappointed. One, I was hoping that it was something else. I was hoping to be able to get action figures of a license that we don't currently have anyone making toys of. The second, I don't want to wait 12 months to 18 months for G.I. Joe figures. There are way too many G.I. Joe good guys and bad guys for us to get 4 characters released at once, assuming this is what they will do, as this is the Super 7 way, and have to wait a year to 2 years to receive them. This is certainly not something that I'm looking forward to. It's already a hassle collecting G.I. Joe with Hasbro, and we know when it comes to Hasbro, they push plastic. Now, it's not all negative, nor do I want to sound all negative. I think the positive to come out of this, unfortunately, we have to wait till July 15th to see the reveals, I'm thinking that Super 7 is going to give us 6 to 7 inch scale classic G.I. Joe figures. So for all of us that weren't too happy with the modern takes on the classified series, this should be a return to the original form. So now for my predictions. Out of the 4 figures, I think we're going to get 2 Joes, 2 Cobra figures. For Cobra, I'm going to say we're going to get Cobra Commander, and we're going to get the Bat Troopers. For the G.I. Joes, I'm saying that we're going to get Duke and probably Shipwreck. Now, let's move on to another license that I've been patiently, and really I haven't been patient, waiting for Super 7 to finally show us some glimpses of their action figures, and that is Silverhawks. And in a previous video, I speculated what the 4 releases would be, and I think that I got 2 of the 4 correct. So let's start with the negatives. And it's really just one negative for me. Super 7 had stated that these figures would not be vac metal, meaning they would not have that super shiny chrome finish that the original toys had. However, Super 7 did say that these toys would be shiny as possible. So Super 7 revealed 4 figures, and we're going to talk about each of them. So we're getting Quicksilver, which was one of my picks. And this just looks like an artist proof. What is supposed to be silver instead is a very dull gray. And first I'm thinking like maybe this is prototype form. No, they're beyond prototype, as these figures have gone up, I think today, for pre-orders. They don't even have metallic paint. I was hoping with these figures that Super 7 would do electroplating, and I can't see why they can't do that. Hot Toys managed to do that with some of their Iron Man figures, the Midas figure in particular. So I'm disappointed that it's not electroplated. I am upset, maybe a little bit angry, that the paint isn't even metallic. And right now I'm at a point to where, as bad as I wanted something Silverhawks, I don't know if I'm going to jump in on this line. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get past my feelings and just cave in, but I'm not feeling so good about the reveals today. Now, aside from Quicksilver, we get his female counterpart, which is Steelheart. We get 2 villains, one which is Buzzsaw, and I think that's the other figure that I picked. Those figures look good. And then we receive Monstar. So before we jump to Monstar, the first 3 figures will be priced at $55 each. Pretty much what we've been seeing with the Ultimate lines. We knew that a price hike was coming. And for Monstar, he will be $85. The figure will be 11 inches tall, so I'm not upset about that price point. Typically, I pay that amount for my Storm collectibles, and some of their figures aren't 11 inches tall. So with the villains, in my opinion, the villains look a lot better. That's unfair for me to say, as I think all of the 4 characters shown look good. It's just that the Silverhawks aren't as I remember them. Now, I can't end this video without throwing something in positive. The positive is that Super 7 is giving us, and I mean for those of us who are interested in the Silverhawks lineup, they're providing us with toys. We haven't seen anything Silverhawks since 1988, maybe? So to have an opportunity to be able to grab some new, well-articulated, good-looking designs, that in itself is a bit of a win. So let me know, what are you thinking? Are you happy with what we're getting from Silverhawks? Are you a bit disappointed? Does the Super 7 picking up the G.I. Joe license, is that what you wanted? Were you hoping for something else? Please let me know, drop a comment. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you during the next video.